Chapter 19. The Blackout. Day 61. System reboot failure. The arraignment was a blur. The Xanax had done its job too well. Arthur stood before the judge in his socks, nodding placidly as the charges were read. Possession of a controlled substance. Attempted. Disorderly conduct. It was a misdemeanor. He was released on his own recognizance, ROR, because he had no prior record and a Manhattan address. He walked out of the courthouse at 4 p.m. The sun was setting. He checked his bank account on his phone. Available balance, $84,200. He was rich. He was free. But he was unemployed. And he was alone. He took an Uber back to Long Island City. The driver tried to talk to him about the weather. Arthur didn't respond. He was calculating the burn rate of his remaining sanity. He entered his apartment. It smelled of stale air and neglect. He went to the pantry. The inventory was critically low. Gabapentin, 0. Confiscated/consumed. Adderall, 0. Confiscated/consumed. Klonopin, 0. Ambien, 1 bottle, full. The Ambien was the only thing the police hadn't found. He had hidden it in a hollowed-out book, The Art of War, on his bookshelf, a redundancy measure he had implemented during the Elena audit. Ambien, Zolpidem. It wasn't a stabilizer. It was a shutdown command. It was designed to knock you out for 8 hours. But Arthur knew from forums and dark corners of the internet that if you fought the sleep, if you forced yourself to stay awake, the Ambien didn't put you to bed, put you into a trance state, a waking blackout. The walrus, the forums called it. Arthur looked at the bottle. 30 pills, 10 milligrams each. He needed to sleep. He needed to forget the holding cell. He needed to forget Thorne's face. But he also needed to fix things. He needed to contact Elena. He needed to explain the logic. If she understood the data, she would understand the necessity. Arthur swallowed 3 Ambien, 30 milligrams. He sat down at his desk. He opened his email client. Subject: Optimization proposal. He began to type. 8 p.m. The walls of the apartment were breathing. Arthur watched them expand and contract. It wasn't scary. It was efficient. The building was alive. He was hungry. He hadn't eaten in 2 days. He walked to the kitchen. He opened the fridge. It was empty except for a bottle of expensive champagne, a gift from the merger, and a jar of pickles. He drank the champagne. Tasted like gold. Then he decided he needed to cook. He didn't have food, but he had supplies. He found a bag of flour in the back of the pantry. He found water. He found the jar of pickles. Recipe: carbohydrate matrix. He poured the flour onto the white granite counter. He poured the champagne into the flour. He mixed it with his hands. It was a sticky, bubbling mess. He felt creative. He felt like an artist. He took his phone out. He needed to document this. He posted a photo to LinkedIn. Caption: Back-end architecture is just dough. You have to knead the data until it rises. #innovation, #disruption, #AmbientChef. Then he remembered Elena. He went back to the computer. The screen was swimming. The letters were dancing. He opened a new email. To elena.rostova@clientx.com. Subject: The truth about the jellyfish. Body: Elena. The jellyfish doesn't have a brain, but it survives. Why? Because it stings. I had to sting them. The latency was killing us. The pills are just the current. I can stop the current. I just need you to be the ground wire. Come over. I made bread. He hit send. Then he decided the apartment was too quiet. He turned on the 8K monitor. He cranked the volume. He wanted to watch something educational. He put on a documentary about ants. The colony is a superorganism, the narrator said. Superorganism, Arthur repeated. He looked at his reflection in the window. He wasn't one man. He was a colony of chemicals. Gabapentin, Adderall, Ambien, champagne. He realized then that the colony needed to expand. He picked up the Ambien bottle. Reinforcements, he giggled. He took 3 more pills. The blackout. Arthur woke up. He was not in bed. He was not on the floor. He was standing on the balcony of his apartment. It was morning. The sun was blinding. The wind was whipping his shirt. He was wearing a dress shirt, but no pants. He looked down. He was holding a hammer. He looked at the glass railing of the balcony. It was shattered. A spiderweb of cracks radiated from a central impact point. Arthur dropped the hammer. It clattered on the concrete. What did I do? He stumbled back inside. The apartment was a war zone. The flour mixture was everywhere, on the counters, on the floor, on the leather couch. It had hardened into a cement-like paste. The 8K monitor was on the floor. The screen cracked. His laptop was open. Arthur walked to the laptop. His hands were trembling so hard he could barely touch the trackpad. He looked at his sent items. He saw the email to Elena. The truth about the jellyfish. He saw 50 other emails. To Miller. To Thorne. To the VP. To the entire company directory. Subject. I am the architect. Body. You are all running on legacy code. I am the future. I optimized the shards. I optimized the biology. You fire me? I fire you. I delete you. The mesh is broken. The hub is dead. Arthur scrolled down. There was a reply from Miller. Sent at 3:14 a.m. Miller, Arthur. Dude, are you okay? HR just sent a company-wide blast. They're revoking your severance. Security is coming to your place to collect the laptop. Get out. Arthur looked at the door. He looked at the shattered monitor. He looked at the flour-covered kitchen. He had nuked it. He hadn't just burned the bridge. He had blown up the entire landscape. System fatal error. He heard a siren in the distance. It was getting louder. Arthur Vane stood in the ruins of his life, wearing no pants, covered in champagne dough. He didn't cry. He didn't scream. He just felt a profound, overwhelming clarity. The experiment was over. The variables had all resolved to 0. He walked to the pantry. He looked for the Ambien bottle. It was empty. He was wide awake, and there was no way to turn it off.